Top racing drivers live by the clock, both on and off the track. And when they travel, it's usually fast and in plenty of style. 4 times Bathurst winner Allan Moffat is no exception. So when he went track testing at the Winton Motor Racing Circuit in northeast Victoria, he flew in by helicopter and invited Drive along for the ride, both in the air and on the ground. Moffat, who has 4 Australian touring car titles to his name to match his quartet of Bathurst victories, was at the Winton track to try out Honda's newest sports car, the fast, classy and shapely CRX 2-seater coupe. Now this was no special race-prepared Honda CRX with all the go-faster gear and tweaked-up engine. Quite the opposite. Apart from the tyres being pumped up hard for fast, flat-out running, the CRX was in strictly showroom condition. Moffat chose to test the Honda on the racetrack so he could take the car to the limit and check out its road holding, brakes and steering, as you'll see a little later. But before we jump in beside one of the fastest, most polished drivers racing in Australia today, let's do a little checking out of our own on the CRX Coupe. The CRX is the 2nd generation version of the coupe to come from Honda, but the first to make it here to Australia. There's a look of speed and performance about the CRX with its swooping, distinctive lines, 2 big doors and dramatically chopped-off tail. Looks play a big part in a car of this kind, and the CRX is not short on eye appeal. It sits aggressively wide and low on its high-speed Michelin tyres and alloy wheels, and there's no doubting that this car is a bit of a goer. Lift the bonnet and you see why. An alloy 1.6-litre 4-cylinder engine with twin overhead camshafts, 16 valves and Honda's own electronic fuel injection. Honda makes some of the most advanced and powerful engines in the world today. Just ask any Grand Prix racing driver. The CRX engine is part of that winning technology. In setting out the design for the CRX, Honda went back to the traditional concept of the sports car, and that means 2 doors, 2 passengers and 2 seats. Shaped and comfortable sports seats, but just 2 seats all the same. There's no phony back seat like in some sporty cars that's little more than a padded shelf. Lift off the cover in the back and the space behind the seats in the CRX is for luggage, real luggage, not just a couple of small overnight bags. Allan Moffat took particular interest in this feature of the Honda, as well as the lockable security locker fitted to the floor. For the driver, the CRX is nicely set up with big dials for speedometer and rev counter, smaller gauges for fuel and engine temperature, a neat steering wheel, and a 5-speed close ratio gearbox to stir up the engine. There's a stereo player too, as well as electric outside mirrors and power windows. With the cockpit checks over, it was time for Moffat to fire up the CRX and go out on the track. And right away, his experience as a top driver showed. There were no fireworks or wild manoeuvres, just some quick but easy laps to get the feel and balance of the Honda. How it braked for corners, how its suspension worked on bends, how it steered and handled. Then he pulled in, hitting the pedal hard on the all-wheel disc brakes just as a final check. Moffat was ready to get serious. With Drive's cameras aboard, he lined up on the grid and rocketed off for some fast motoring. It's obviously a car that's a ton of fun, even for a professional racing driver like Moffat. I'm Tony Porter. This is Drive.